Alright, so it looks like it's that time, so I'm going to get started. A few people will probably walk in late. So, my name is Jared Hatfield. I go to the University of Louisville, Speed School of Engineering, so I'm local. It's Louisville, not Louisville. And this is our presentation on getting freshmen involved, Freshman Council. So I'm going to talk and give a presentation for a little over the first half of this time, but I'm hoping to have have a few questions and start a little dialogue so we can kind of compare how we do this. I'm going to go through exactly how we run our Freshman Council at the University of Louisville. How many people have something similar to a Freshman Council? So a lot of people, but not everyone. What is Freshman Council? What is Freshman Council specifically for us? It's a way to get students into the door. It is the first thing that we promote to students for our council. The Freshman Council is really the leadership opportunity for the freshmen. The requirements of the Freshman Council, we keep it really simple. They have to host one event for each semester. Really, it stops at that. They're required to just do one event for each semester, and they're allowed to choose whatever they want. Sometimes we have events that continue year to year, sometimes we have very similar events, but oftentimes they come up with brand new events. Freshmen are very creative, they can think of new things to do. And the real goal is to gain leadership experience. So this is really a leadership organization. We want this freshman to gain leadership experience through this, and that's specifically what it's geared towards. There is a social component to this, but the leadership of the council is what we're targeting. So why do we even need a freshman council? Well, one of the things is, I know when I went to high school, a council in high school is kind of, you plan a dance and then that's about it. All of the complicated stuff is taken care of by the professor, or by not the teachers in high school, they're not professors. So they don't really know what to expect when they come to college. That's normally a pretty life-changing experience. You come to college and there's lots of changes going on, so we do not want to overwhelm the freshmen when they walk in the door. We want to make it a very soft landing when they come in to speed school. Especially, I think this is true of engineering programs across the country. They're a little more rigorous than some other programs, so the course load that freshmen are coming in with is probably a little higher than that of some other majors. Specifically, at U of L, I will talk to how our university is structured. I realize there are differences across the nation. All of our academic units, arts and sciences, engineering, business, music, all have their own council. And then we have a student government umbrella that oversees all of them. Our council is one of the most active. It's the one that's often displayed as the model that other councils want to emulate. A lot of that is because of NAESC, but it's also because engineering students work really hard and take a lot of pride in what they do. So our council, being successful, also has a little bit of an intimidation factor there. If they see what the council's done, they might not think that it's very approachable. They might not understand what they actually are expected to do. Sometimes the freshmen come in and they don't even know what a council is or never heard of it. Our program has a mandatory co-op, so they're told over and over again, you need to get involved in a student organization, but they come in and they don't even know how student organizations work at a university. If they went to a small school in high school, they come to a large university or a university that has lots of student organizations, they might not even know what to expect. So, how it works. Our freshman council has no constitution. It is not an organization at the university. And that might seem counterintuitive, but we run it as a committee. We do not want it to be a separate entity at the university. We want it to be part of our council. So it is a committee of our council. If we made it a separate organization, a separate entity, it wouldn't feed into our council. It would have its own inner workings, it would have its own life cycle, it would have its own problems, it would have its own organization structure. So we really want to keep it part of our council, but kind of sort of operate it as its own thing that's on the side. I mentioned that they're required to host one event each semester. Speed school is year-round, so that ends up being 3 semesters, so they end up hosting 3 events. Monetary-wise, we actually budget in our council a line item specifically for freshman council. We earmark money, we dedicate it specifically to them, so they have a source of funding that they know they can have. And we give them $200 each semester. That actually boils down to $600 divided as you please normally. Sometimes they'll host very cheap events or events that actually end up breaking even if they collect money. Other times they'll want to save up for a larger event in the summer or simply have one semester where the event kind of falls flat and they didn't get organized in time. Students are challenged specifically to work together, have fun, come up with an event. Normally it's designed to be a social event. I'll give some examples of some events we've done, but it's to get students out in any social activity. We require that the council elect a president. We have no constitution for them, so they're kind of operating inside of our council. It's not a separate organization, but we do require them to elect a freshman council president. The freshmen themselves actually elect the president. Right now, we're working on revising our constitution, but right now the president is a non-voting member of our directors. Our council's set up so we have 9 voting directors that each have different responsibilities: president, vice president, finance, and lots of other positions. But the freshman council president actually attends our directors meeting, sits in on them. They have floor privileges. They can talk about the issues, but in the end, they don't have a vote yet. And that's something that we're considering revising and actually giving the freshmen a vote on our directors, so we can guarantee that one of the younger students has a voice on the council at large. Now, we also recommend that they choose other positions, and we let them choose them themselves. Vice president is normally one that they all think is a good idea. A treasurer, a secretary. One year they decided a sergeant at arms was a good position for them to elect. And they've also had directors of communication. Different things. What they feel like is important, they create a position. So we give them lots of flexibility, and we just give them this framework to work in. You're a part of council. Do that. So how does this benefit the larger council? So this is totally selfish on our part. This is to benefit us, really. We want the freshmen to gain leadership experience, but really this is completely selfish on the council. We really want the benefit to come to us. So we want to get them involved in the organization, but we want it to be a soft landing when they come in. If they came to our council meetings and saw us using Robert's Rules of Order, we have different people giving reports, they're not sure, there's all these old people that all know each other and everyone's really friendly, it can be a turnoff actually for freshmen that they simply aren't sure if they're welcome, they're not sure how to do things. So we want to get them in the door as softly as possible and then transition them into the full council. So when we have the council there, the freshman council is really how we present it. We're not saying, Speed School Student Council, you should join that. We actually say, join freshman council, and that's part of the whole. And having freshmen there, they know that they're going to be working with their peers. Freshmen have a lot of creative ideas. One important thing, again, I said this was very selfish on our part to have this. We get a lot of our future leaders and a lot of our talent from our freshman council. So normally, Speed Schools has about 2,000 students in it. Normally we have about 30 students, freshmen, that come in out of a class of, is it 300, I think? Yeah, it's about 300 students that come in. We have about 30 students that come into freshman council and are really excited to get working. And then calculus hits, and we end up going down to about 10 that actually stay on and are really excited. And normally we have about 10 to 15 that will actually continue all the way through all 4 or 5 years working with council. The big thing is, though, for the past several years, at least the past 2 years, and every now and then the number fluctuates, but we have about 4 of our 9 directors elected from freshman council, either the president, the vice president, or other positions in council. These are our future leaders, and this is how we are grooming them. If we did not have freshman council and have these students elected every year, we would actually be hard-pressed to elect 9 highly qualified individuals for all of our positions. Oftentimes, some of our positions are very popular. Running for president and vice president, you'll have more than one candidate, but some of our lower positions, activities, academic affairs, that require a bigger time commitment aren't always popular positions for upperclassmen, but underclassmen really have the time available to run these positions in the drive. So how do we promote this to first-year students? How do we actually get them excited? We start before even their first day of class. We talk about this at orientation. We work with the university to talk about our council with the university to promote all of our student organizations. And we basically say, you should join freshman council, show up to freshman council meetings. We're not trying to convince them to join council, we're trying to convince them to join freshman council. They will be at meetings with their peers, with their students that they've met at orientation, with the students that they know from the dorms, with the students that they know from classrooms. So it's a very non-threatening environment. It gets them in the door. We give a presentation and we focus on, it's fun, it's a great leadership opportunity, and it's a great way to meet other engineers. Normally this is how they form homework study groups, especially for the calculus classes. And with the leadership opportunity, we have a required mandatory co-op that all the freshmen will be going on a year and a half after their first day of class. They will be going on co-op. And if they don't have something to talk about, not necessarily to put on their resume, but to talk about saying, I helped plan this event, when did you have trouble with working with someone else? This gives them those opportunities where they can talk about those experiences, because that'll be one of their first employment opportunities, and the Freshman Council gives them the opportunity to plan. So some of our events, one of these things is not like the other. 2006, 2007, that's when I was a freshman. 2009, 2010, 2010, 2011, these are the past 2 years. I included the Wii Sports Tournament, which anybody still use their Wii anymore? I don't think anybody does, but it was popular in 2007 when we held this event. So the Wii Sports Tournament, they've also held a rock band tournament, Pi Day. Cookouts are always very popular for the summer. Engineers are often almost the only ones on campus, so holding a nice cookout, having ice cream, having burgers, hot dogs, that's popular. Engineering pentathlon, Pi Day, like I said, sometimes we repeat events if they're popular. And the summer of 2011 has not occurred yet, so I'm not sure what they're going to do. So about some of our events. When I was a freshman, I said, you know what, the Wii's really cool. Could we have a Wii Sports Tournament? And they said yes, and then we did it. And it was a 3-day event. There was a qualifying round, tournaments. We gave out really big trophies. I was surprised at how big the trophies were. And my idea as a freshman, I had no idea how to do this. It was just something that I mentioned in passing almost. And then the people around me, my fellow people that were on Freshman Council, helped make this event a reality. And we did everything from organizing the event, ordering the food, to chalking out. And those are really nice drawings of Wii Sports, if anybody remembers back when Wii Sports was popular. So Pi Day, this is our Dean of Academics pieing a slightly unwilling freshman for Pi Day. The way we ran Pi Day is you pay $1 and you get to pie a freshman, like a whipped cream pie, but then you also get a little pie to eat, like a little individual person, like an individual pie that you get to eat. So this was, the freshmen created a nice big board with Pi Day, and that is our outgoing dean of our engineering school actually pieing a freshman. It somewhat turned into it was not designed to be a fundraiser. They had $1 just to kind of offset the cost, but then the professors came out with $10 and said, line up 10 freshmen, I'm going to pie 10 freshmen, and it sort of turned into a fundraiser. So these events are designed to be social, they're designed to be easy. It does actually take a whole semester for the freshmen to plan an event as simple as Pi Day. Upperclassmen would probably be able to plan and execute this event in a matter of 2 weeks, but we give the freshmen 2 months to do the same thing, to learn it themselves. Rock band tournament. So this is a little more recently, although rock band also is dying. These will be totally out of date in a few years, but we had a rock band tournament. We emptied out of classroom. They set up a big projector screen. They had a DJ bring in lights. The bands dressed up in costumes, and we had a crowd. I dressed up as paparazzi with my camera, and my girlfriend dressed up as a reporter. It was a lot of fun. It was a very social event. The one thing that you do want to remember, this was in a brand new building that we dedicated. And the freshmen sent out the email, I read it, I approved it, and then the dean gets this call saying, you know there's going to be a rock band in this brand new building that we just had built, like 3 hours after the dedication, there's going to be a rock band in this building. And they didn't quite understand that this was going to be a video game with a few people standing up there with plastic guitars. They were worried that we were going to destroy everything. So that's one of those instances where having an upperclassman advisor, I was the advisor at this time and had to smooth over some tempers, having an advisor be able to step in and fix problems as they arrive. Really, when I helped organize this event, I wanted all of my work to go invisible. I wanted the freshmen to think that they did everything by themselves and I didn't do anything. But actually, behind the scenes, I had to do a lot of work and get none of the credit for it and make sure I got none of the credit for it to basically boost the confidence of the freshmen. Again, here we have the trophies. They got bags of candy. It was a social event, and it was designed to basically teach them how to do things. How do I reserve a room? How do I spend money from the university? How do I make sure everything goes? How do I make sure the dean knows that we're not actually inviting a rock band? So that's it.